Hi everyone, welcome back to Creatively Crafted Life. This is Melanie and it is time for Christmas cards. So today I'm bringing you a somewhat budget-friendly type card in that we're going to use this foil tissue paper from the Dollar Tree to make these cards. So what I did was I took some Avery L sticker paper. I guess you could probably use like an Office Depot or a Staples brand. I just happen to have this in my stash. So it's the 8.5 by 11 piece of sticker paper, and all I am doing here is adhering the foil onto the sticky side of the paper, and that's going to give it some stability so that when we go to cut it out, it basically will cut out, which is a good thing. So I'm just doing it in sections and I'm trying to get it as flat as I possibly can. So trying to get rid of any of the creases. And as it is a foil, it shows every single fingerprint. So I'm just using my microfiber cloth there to just kind of help adhere that down, as well as try to remove some of the fingerprints that I'm leaving behind. So at this point, I have a little bit of extra because I just roughly trimmed that down in the first place. And I'm just going to trim that off roughly to the 8.5 by 11 size sheet of paper so that I can use it a little bit easier. So I have a number of different snowflake dies here, and I'm going to just trim them out. I did 2 sheets of this. I used both sides of the foil paper, so I did both a silver and a blue. So I've already pre-cut out a bunch of the blue already, and that's what I was showing you in that bowl. Now I am using my precision plate for my big shot. I found that it helped the dies cut through the mylar of the foil. I think that's what it's called, just a little bit easier. So that's why I opted to use that. And other than that, it cut really easily. It didn't give me any problems. And basically, I think it's because I had the paper behind. So I'm just, cleaning it up a little bit, taking all the little bits and pieces from the snowflakes out. I also have a number of dies that have different holiday sentiments in it. So I'm using that as well with this foil so that I am going to have a very shiny card when all said and done. So I did run it through frontwards and backwards, again, just to help make sure that it cuts through all the layers. But as you can see, it pops out really easily, and all the little bits and pieces inside, I don't have to struggle to get them out very much, just using a little pokey tool to get them out. I was very pleased with how this turned out. I had the idea when I was in the store that this might work, but I really didn't have a plan as to how I was going to make it work. So I'm very, very happy that this worked, and very inexpensive. I think you get like 2 or 3 sheets of this for $1. And as you can see, I barely even used like maybe even half of one sheet. So this could go quite a long way. And like I said, you get both sides, both the silver as well as the gold, blue. So now I'm just going to lay out my design here. I am using some liquid glue with a precision tip from Stampin' Up. You don't have to use this glue. Any glue would work. I just found it easier with a small tip because of the delicacy of the snowflakes. They're a lot of fun to put together. They're flat cards, so they're single layer cards, so they'll go through the mail just great. And because I die cut so many snowflakes and sentiments all at once, they came together really quickly. I think I probably made 10 cards in under half an hour, which is fantastic, especially when we're talking about Christmas cards, right? And we, you know how you like to send out, or I shouldn't say you do, I like to send out quite a few cards. So this allows me to make a lot in a very short period of time. I really like the mix of the blue and the silver together. To me, that just makes it a little bit more interesting. So, of course, you can't have a Christmas card without some sort of bling. So I went into my stash and I had some rhinestones. They are not adhesive-backed rhinestones, but just plain white, I guess, clear rhinestones. So I'm just using the same glue to adhere the rhinestones to the card. And I have a little I don't know what it's called now. It's like a jewel picker kind of thing to help me pick up the rhinestones and adhere to the card. It's got kind of a waxy film to it, I guess, so that it's tacky enough to pick up the rhinestones. So here's the close-up of all the different variations of the cards that I put together. I'm really pleased with how they turned out. They're simple, but yet still fancy enough, I think. And they're shiny, which I think Christmas cards should always have a little bit of shine on them. These are probably over the top in that way, but they were really fun to put together. I'm quite happy with them. So now I'm going to move on to another way that you could use this foil paper and really go budget. So I had some scraps left over, and what I thought I would do is just hand draw some balloon shapes, I guess. So it's not quite a circle and it's not quite an oval, but it's a pretty easy shape to draw. And all I'm doing is drawing on the back of the paper that I attached to the foil. Now, you could actually go online and find some clip art, print it on the printer paper or on the sticker paper before adhering it to the foil, and then use that to trim out images. And that would be a really budget-friendly or easy way to get some images that are foiled, for lack of a better term. And I'm just using some scissors to trim this out. As you can see, it cuts really, really easily. It's just like cutting paper. There's nothing about the foil is preventing me from cutting this out. Okay, so 3 balloons. That makes it nice and easy. I'm going to take a stamp set from Joann's. This is the Miss Sparkle & Co. stamp set. It's one of those ones that I think it runs you $1.99 or $2.99 or something like that. And I'm just going to take the words from there, and I've got a navy blue ink pad that I'm going to use. This is from Hero Arts. I'm going to test it out, make sure that that looks good. I'm just making sure it's relatively straight so that when I affix it to the card front, it will be reasonably straight. I'm using my T-square ruler in order to align this. It's my inexpensive way or inexpensive positioner. Of course, if you happen to have a stamp platform or something, you could use that and it would be much easier to do so. And then I am just going to take some of this foam adhesive that I bought at the Dollar Tree. I believe it's like picture mounting foam, which works just fine. And I am going to apply that behind a couple of these balloons just to give them some dimensions. Now this foam is in little rectangle strips, and I used a full strip for one of these, but you could easily trim them down if you wanted to conserve, I guess, some of the foam. So we're just layering that up, and then of course we have to polish it a little bit to get rid of the fingerprints. I have some more stamping here to do, so I have some stars on the same stamp set. There's an open star as well as a solid star, and I'm just using the same blue ink again to kind of sprinkle some confetti-like, I guess, around the balloons. This was another item that I picked from Joann's from the Miss Sparkle & Co. line. It had some twine, some baker's twine, and so what I'm going to do is just trim 3 pieces of baker's twine off to attach to the balloons. I tied a little bow, and we're just going to affix this with some Tombow mono. So I'm just added a little bit of glue underneath the bow that I tied, and I add a little bit at the bottom once I have all of these 3 strings affixed to the balloons. And I'm using a block just to apply some pressure to make sure that I get some good adhesion there. I'm just tucking the bow underneath the balloon on top, and one more bow to finish this off. If you didn't have any twine, you could easily hand draw some strings in just with like a black pen. That would work as well. So I'm just going to trim off the ends from the bow, and then, like I said before, I'm just going to affix a little bit of glue at the bottom. And I'm trying to make it look like it's somewhat attached to the words, that the words are anchoring the strings down. I don't know if I was entirely successful, but that was my aim. And again, you need to add some bling because, you know, the foil's not shiny enough. So I'm using the same products I used before. These are just some clear rhinestones. I'm just adding them here and there. At this point, I realized that the bottom left-hand corner was looking a little sparse. And so I pulled out the stamps again and just added more of those stars in the bottom. So both the open and the solid. And then I will add a few more rhinestones just to finish it off. So the intent behind that is to make it look like, you know, the confetti that you often see in celebrations. Okay. And that is the card. So that is truly a budget-friendly card. And to top it all off, I figured why not decorate the envelope. So I pulled out the balloon stamps from that same stamp set. I stamped a couple balloons in the front. I'm going to add some strings, and then I will be able to write the address there to the right. So now we have a matching card and envelope. So I'm going to leave you with some close-ups of the different cards that I created today. I hope you enjoyed and are inspired to maybe try something similar. If you do, let me know below how it works out for you. And if you have a social media site, Instagram account or something that you're going to post them to, let me know so I can check them out. Thank you so much for joining me today. And until next time, happy crafting.